Hello friends, the article which we are analyzing today is published on Hindu July 27th. The title of the article is The Chilling Effect of Criminal Contempt. It is written by Mr. A.P. Shah. A.P. Shah is a retired Chief Justice Delhi and Madras High Court and former Chairperson Law Commission of India. So in this analysis, I have covered three articles. The first article is the chilling effect of criminal contempt. The second article is the motorcycle and art of court management. And third is the editorial which is published on same date. Title is Scandalizing as Contempt. So because these all three articles cover the same thing, that is related to contempt of court. That is the immediate provocation for this case contempt of court is a lawyer activist tweet of lawyer activist Prashant Bhushan. So court has taken a cognizance of his tweet and imposed a this contempt of court case against him. So for that reason, this article is basically analyzing the rationale of this law, which is a contempt of court. So for why this law is there, first of all we'll go and analyze the justification for keeping this law in the rule book. So here, as per the article, this law is there to protect the judiciary from false allegation or innuendo. That means we need to protect the judiciary, that people should not be allowed to make a false allegation or some kind of wrong inference of judicial action. So this law will be helpful to protect the judiciary from false allegation, innuendo or attack. And the second reason for keeping this law is to protect the judiciary from willful disobedience to court order, as well as interference in the administration of justice and overt threat to judge. So in many cases we see that court has made a certain ruling, but that is not being implemented by executive. So in that case, court can use this power of contempt to enforce its judgment, because this can be used as a threat to disobedient executive to make them comply with the court order. So it is very much used in that case where the executive is willingly disobeying the order of court. And we also see that in India there are all kind of forces acting in the administration of justice. So any force which is basically interfering in the administration of justice, that time this law, contempt of court law, will be used against them. So it is very much required for the proper functioning of judicial administration. And again we see that it can be used if somebody is directly threatening to judge, because judge has to take decision that may offend someone and he may threaten the judge. So in that case, what judge can do? He can use the power of contempt of court law to deal with that situation. And other purpose of keeping this law is to protect the judiciary from scandalizing its activity with a malified intention. So many people are there who are basically the activity, the judgment or other things, they are basically sensationalizing or scandalizing the judicial authority, and their intention is not good. They do with the purpose, that is a malified intention. So it is seen that there are motivated people are trying to scandalize the judicial authority. So to deal with such kind of people, it is needed that court should have a provision of contempt of court. law. And the purpose of this law, keeping this law, is to protect the judiciary from attempt to bring the administration of justice in disrepute and undermine the dignity and authority of the institution. So we see that all kind of hostile forces are working, and they try to bring disrepute to the judiciary and try to undermine the dignity and authority of the institution. So their attempt is basically to make judiciary look poor in front of public and undermine the dignity and authority of the institution. They want to do it because of their vested interest. So these are the ground reality which a judicial authority faces in day-to-day life. So you have to remember here that any private person can make any kind of allegation against judge in media or in social media. But as per convention, judge, a judicial officer, cannot revert him back through the same media, because judges are supposed to keep aloof from media. So if suppose somebody is saying something personally targeting some judge in the media, making some allegation which may be false allegation, so judge do not have a luxury to rebut that allegation, to counter that allegation using the same media, because judicial officers are barred to interact with media. So what is the avenue for judicial officer to deal with such kind of allegation or malified intention? So in that case, to protect the institution of judiciary, this criminal contempt law is needed. And other important thing is of public confidence. It is very important for democracy or for country to work efficiently when people have the high degree of confidence on judicial authority in court. If public confidence is undermined due to malicious allegation or malified intention by scandalizing the judicial authority, the public confidence will be lowered to a judicial authority, which is not good for the society and for the country, because that will create a situation of anarchy. So to maintain public confidence in judiciary and to safeguard the interest of public, judiciary should be protected from hostile, willful disobedience, false allegation, innuendo, and attempt to undermine the dignity and authority of the institution. So to deal with such kind of situation which arise in day-to-day activity of judicial activity, this law is handy to deal with such kind of hostile force. But this law is criticized. The ground of criticism are many, which are listed here. So first we'll analyze what are the criticism for keeping this law. So this law is not a new law, it is a quite old law. So what the first point in the criticism is that it is a archaic law designed for use in a bygone era, where utility and necessity have long vanished. So this criminal contempt law was basically a quite old archaic law, when earlier time king used to pass judicial order. So that kind of to protect king from any adverse remark out of his coming out of his decision, it was used. It was made for that reason. So that situation is no longer there. And this law was originally meant to maintain a blaze of glory around court. So to just create an impression that of court having a superior authority or God-given authority or some kind of having wisdom, so that means it is indisputable, unquestionable, always right. That kind of impression is created using this law, so that artificially a blaze of glory around court is maintained. And now the situation is different. It is not the same thing what we used to have earlier. Now most of the countries are democracy, and this concept of contempt of court does not sit well with the idea of democracy, because this idea basic of democracy make everybody same. It does not consider a judicial officer or judicial authority as a some kind of supernatural or some kind of extraordinary power. It is just a change of rule. Otherwise, all people are equal. So that kind of superficial blaze of glory is no longer there. So this law is not complying to the idea of democracy. And also to counter this law, suppose somebody somebody that case is against him of contempt of court, that person to whom this allegation was made, he cannot use truth and good faith for whatever act he committed against the for contempt of court. He cannot use truth and good faith were not recognized as valid defense until 2006, when the Contempt of Court Act was amended. So before 2006, if somebody is alleged to have committed an act of contempt against court, his defense that he did this thing based on good faith and he has a reason to consider whatever he did as a truth, those things, those reasons were not recognized as a valid defense. This was the case, and recently only 2006 it was changed and have now included truth and good faith as a ground for valid defense. So this is the case, and this law is against the constitutional right of freedom of speech and expression. And what we see that what is happening in Western country and other advanced country, we see that England, where basically this law has come from the beginning, now the originating country itself has abolished the offense of scandalizing the court in 2013 itself. And Canada ties its test for contempt to real, substantial, immediate danger to the administration of justice. So Canada consider contempt of court case when it is proven that there is an immediate danger to the administration of justice, it is substantial and it is real. Then only this provision of contempt of court is allowed. And American court no longer use the law of contempt of court in response to any comment, personal comment made on judge or any legal issues. So we see that Canada, England and America, they are not using this contempt of court provision. So we should also go in the same line. The law should not be allowed, this contempt of court law should not be allowed to be used as a mean to prevent any and all criticism of an institution. That means what criticism says, that this law of contempt of court should not be used to suppress any criticism against an institution, because healthy criticism is very much required. So this law should not prevent a genuine healthy criticism of an institution. And last point is, avoid using law to silence any criticism or accountability will not generate respect for the judiciary. So if attempt is made to use this law to silence criticism, or to use this law to not to take accountability of its action, this kind of action will not generate the respect for judiciary as per the article. So we see that for this keeping this law, lot of argument is there against of it, because it is not in compliance with the ethos of democracy. It is an old law designed for bygone era, no longer valid in this period of time, and healthy criticism should be allowed, and this law should not be used to hide behind or to suppress some kind of genuine criticism, or to prevent somebody to ask difficult question, or to not to take accountability. So there are many which is many argument which is against of this law, and we also see that this law is required in certain situation, and we also see that it is very important that public repose its faith in the judiciary. Otherwise, this whole structure or it will not serve the public good. But particularly this law, we see that for or against both sides arguments are there. Now coming to the present case of contempt, where contempt of court case is against lawyer activist Prashant Bhushan is there. Now this particular case of contempt of court against lawyer activist Prashant Bhushan raises many questions as per the article. What article says that this COVID-19 situation where court is closed, all other institutions are closed, economy is down, there are so much difficulty people and in country people are facing, and court also has many important case pending before it. So in that situation, if Supreme Court take up the case of this contempt of court case against some person because of his tweets, that questions the court priority and its sense of judgment on priority and timing, because as per the article, this timing is not correct for court to spend its precious time on such a trivial issue. And since court there are many important cases pending before the court, the priority should be given to those cases. Compared to those cases, this particular case stands nowhere. So this is the point article is raising. The second point article is raising that this may be a case of overreaction on the part of judiciary, because judiciary can be more liberal or ignore such kind of small allegation, because it is not worthy of Supreme Court time and energy. So Supreme Court should be magnanimous enough, liberal enough not to react to such kind of allegation, because by taking cognizance of such allegation, Supreme Court is spending its energy in unnecessary thing as per the article. So this is a case of overreaction as per the author. And author, by taking up this case, author is questioning the purpose of court, whether court want to go into the detail of allegation or court want to set an example of that person for contempt of court case. So there may be two cases, that whatever the allegation that concerned person has made, court want to go into the depth of it to discover the truth, or court consider that allegation as a false allegation and make that person an example of it. So here the author is questioning the purpose of Supreme Court for taking up this case. Another point author raises that by taking, because the allegation is against a lawyer activist and is a member of bar. So one of their bar member is accused of contempt of court. In that situation, how bar is going to react, that also is the question author is raising. And another point author is raising, what will be the composition of bench, because that also is a factor. And by taking up this case, whether this action of Supreme Court will raise its standing internationally or not, that is also a point author is raising. So this article or this situation throw up many questions, many arguments. First of all, about this law of contempt of court, what are the justification for keeping this law and why this law should not be there. Both side arguments are there. So for any student, they should know both the argument. And in this present case, this present case again raises many questions regarding the priority of Supreme Court of taking up this question, timing of this issue of timing, and when there are so many other cases are pending, why the court has taken up this case. Court can very well ignore this thing. What is the purpose, composition of bench, international standing, bar reaction. So there are so many tied up issues are here, which we can see that has an implication not only for judiciary but overall. So this concludes the analysis of today's article. I hope this analysis will help you to improve your understanding. Thank you.